You are listening to the Bright Life Podcast, all about ways to stay inspired, chase your dreams, and find more gratitude in the highs and lows of the journey. I'm your host, Jessica Johnson. I'm a business owner, a part-time digital nomad, a self-growth junkie, a believer in other big-hearted women, and am all about sharing tips, tricks, lessons learned, and encouragement so we can all live our biggest, brightest lives. You ready? Let's do this. Hey girl, hey! So pumped to have you here. Welcome. How has your week been? Hope you can just grab yourself a tea or a coffee and settle in. Maybe you're walking on the treadmill. Maybe you're getting ready in the morning. I just am grateful to have you here, and I'm really excited to share today's topic, which is all about the fastest way to up-level your life, today. And that is what I've learned through painstaking experimentation. The fastest way to do this, I believe, at this point in my life, is to run toward your fears. So if you're thinking, life is good, I think everything's kind of kicking, I don't really know what's next, things kind of feel like they're in a steady season, that's awesome. If you are good staying there, and if you're in one of those seasons where that feels really grounding and really calm, if you are ready to turn things up a notch or have things get a little crazy, this is all you have to do. Think of the thing that you are the scaredest to do, the thing that when I say that comes to mind of oh, I would do this, but no, I'm not ready to do that, or I don't want to do that, or I don't want to look over here at this thing. In my opinion, that is where your next evolution and chapter lies. And it's not in doing the thing. It's who you have to become, the mindset blocks you have to get over, the fears you have to overcome, the limitations you have to bypass in order to do that thing. So I'll give you a few examples. One of the things that I was terrified to do, which I've talked about on here, is actually this actual podcast. I procrastinated this literally for years. I was so scared to do it, and it wasn't logical. I don't know why. But for me, there was just a lot of getting over actually putting my voice out there and my thoughts. And I had this whole story worked up about people were going to be so mean, they were going to leave mean comments on social media, all this stuff. And for me, putting the podcast out there revealed so much juicy stuff about that visibility, about trusting my voice, about trusting that I would have ideas, that I had something valuable to share, that I was worthy of even using my voice and putting something out into the world, and that people would want to listen to it. And even the people closest to me, I was the scaredest about. And so obviously you can probably tell there's some juicy stuff in there, right? If those are the things that I was so nervous about. But once I did it, I had to go through all those things. And so it ended up helping me work through a lot of that and a lot of those visibility issues and a lot of those worthiness issues in order to even now be talking with you once a week at you're my girlfriends and just be hey, let's just chat about our deepest thoughts and personal development, right? And so for me, that was a huge one. Another area I even think is entrepreneurship in general. So for me, it was such an intense thing to even be able to leave corporate America and to bet on myself and to get to a place where I could tell people I'm actually going to change industries and I'm actually going to not have a solid income from another corporation. I'm going to go out there and hustle and find a way to do this. For me, that was such a journey of everything. I mean, that unlocked everything. I think that entrepreneurship, once you're in it, you realize it's such a spiritual journey because you are just uncovering every block, every mindset hurdle, every limiting story about yourself. And you think it's strategy in business. And it's really who are you at your soul and what's going on inside that makes you think you can have this or do this or not. And we're going to just mix it all together and throw in the money thing, throw in the family stories, throw in the visibility, and you've just got the perfect storm of things to work through. So that was another one. And I think for me, it's like almost entrepreneurship. The value of it isn't even creating the business of your dreams. It's who you are becoming at every next level of being like a business owner and getting more visible and being more resourceful and serving more humans and all the dynamics that come up around that, and like knowing more people and thinking, birthing these ideas from your heart and your soul and that kind of thing. So for you, like, it can be any of those things. It could be even relationships. It could be like, if you're scared of going on a date, go on a date and see what comes up. And that is the stuff that you have to work on. That is life showing you, here you go. Here is the beliefs. Here's the family, like lineage stuff. Here's what you're afraid of. Here's what you are excited for. Here's where you could believe in yourself more. Where sometimes it's even like that when you're meeting like new friends, right? Where you're like putting yourself out there by sending a text or a DM and being like, hey, I think we should meet. Like, this would be fun. I think we'd have this in common. Are you interested? And like showing up for that dinner. It's like those first date nerves when you're meeting a potential new friend for the first time. But guess what? That friend could be your new best friend. Like, you might not even know the person that you get to share life with or this next chapter with is right around the corner and is right on the other side of an email, of a text, of a DM. So for me, I just really think that and it's easy for me to say this, right? But it's something I try and practice really truly, is like running towards my fears. And right now, even showing up consistently on social media is a huge one for me, because I just, love to kind of do life a little bit more privately. I love to talk to you guys where it feels more personal. I get to share my heart. But sometimes social media can feel like you are just putting yourself out there to a community you don't even necessarily know as well, or it's not as like a platform to be as genuine or from the heart. So I'm trying to shift that even, and I'm trying to see like what's really coming up there and how can I truly be the most expressed version of myself and truly say exactly what I mean and exactly what I want to say, and let it just lie, right? Like, not overthink 3 steps ahead of what this person's going to think or this person's going to worry about, oh my gosh, it just makes such a storm of like preparation for every possible opinion on the internet. And so that's something for me I'm trying to run towards, because I know that's where my next evolution is. And I know that there's a reason that that's there for me. And even at one point in my latest offering for business, like my Facebook ads were shut down. And I believe in hindsight that that was to serve me, because I had this idea that if I could just run ads, once you start ads, you don't have to look at them every day. You might tweak them here and there and optimize them, but you're not feeling like it's you as visible. And I truly believe that there were issues with my ads because it was life saying, what if we actually practice getting visible and showing up and being consistent and putting your thoughts out there every day in a format that you're really more intimidated by? And so there's no foregone explanation here. There's no answer yet. I'm still leaning into this, but it's really just trying to show we've all got things. We've all got things, and the more we lean into them and talk about them and follow them, I think that's really where we grow. And that's where we do become that next version of ourselves. And that's where we also see what is still there that's unhealed and what is being brought to the surface for us to gently finally look at and peel the layers off of and kind of dust off and say, like now you're here. Now you're coming to me. Now I'm seeing you for the first time when I hadn't before. Let's do this. Let's figure out what's here. Let's figure out how to get through this, and let's gently move through it, right? Into that next version of yourself, into that next season of your life where that's no longer the thing that you're afraid of. That's the really awesome thing that comes from it, is like, I know this, I have to remind myself of this, but the more you do it, the more either you unravel kind of what's next, but also this fear falls away and something else replaces it. The next thing comes, but you move through it. And that's the beautiful thing and the reward of it too, right? Is it won't be the fear forever. So encouragement there. But it will stay the fear as long as you keep resisting it. And so if you can lean into it, if you can move towards it, if you can run towards your fears, I think that is the fastest way to up-level and unlock the next chapter of your life and the next version of yourself. So I hope this is super helpful and encouraging and maybe a little inducing, but just know I'm here as well. Happy to process this with you more. Send me a DM on Instagram or a voicemail. Happy to chat with you. And I'm so grateful to have you here. Let's go get it. It's here for a reason. We are healing and growing and evolving every single day. And what an amazing journey to be on and to be on together. I recently created a free bonus for listeners that I'm super pumped about. It's a 7-day workbook to create your biggest, brightest life, full of exercises I use to bring my dreams to life, work through fears, and take inspired action. You can download it for free at bit.ly/podcast bonus, just as a thank you for listening. If you love this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you leave a review or share it with a friend. That helps so much with discoverability so others can find it too. Thank you so much for listening in. I'll talk to you next Thursday.